Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Toba Black community.
Here we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Timelanga Msheni Iralocha Sanvanani Mulweni. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. In a shocking turn of events, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance has found himself at the center of a firestorm after seemingly admitting that he and former President Donald Trump have been spreading blatantly racist lies about the Haitian immigrants. Now, this controversy actually ignited an interview with the CNN's Dana Bash, where Vance actually struggled to defend his role in amplifying racial claims that these immigrants were actually engaging in acts of eating neighborhood pets. Now, as Vance attempted to justify his statements, he described his actions as merely responding to the concerns of his voters. However, I think that this narrative quickly unraveled as Dana presented evidence debunking the claims Vance created. Let's check it out.
The one who brought this
my
up.
Constituents
The president
were the
said
ones
it to
who talked about
60
eating
million
dog and
people.
cats, and I talked about it because you were ignoring this community. My constituents talked about
Have
it.
you been
and it's
to
my
Springfield?
responsibility to surface their concerns when the American media
Have you been
ignores
to Springfield?
It. Dana, I've been to Springfield probably 100 times in my life.
How about
I've taken
recently,
my children
since
to
you've
get
heard
ice
this?
cream at Young's Jersey Dairy.
Have you heard recently since you've gotten these calls?
Have I been in the last 4 days?
No, I'm
I
talking
haven't been in
about
the last 4 days, but I've
since
talked to
you've
a lot
gotten
of
these
people in
calls from the
Springfield, Dana,
constituents.
and they're telling me this stuff is happening. Dana, would you like to ask me questions and then let me answer them, or would you like to debate me on these topics? I noticed that when you had Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, you gave them multiple choice answers to the questions that you asked, and you allowed them to answer the questions. I'm happy to be here to talk about policy, but if you're going to interrupt me every single time that I open my mouth, then why am I even doing this? So please ask a question, and I'd ask you to be polite enough to let me answer it.
Yes, I am, and I think that if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were making unsubstantiated claims that had racist undertones about people eating dogs and cats, and they didn't answer the questions about that, then I would have similar interactions with them.
Now, Vance's reaction to Bash's probing felt defensive and evasive, if you ask me. I mean, rather than own up to the consequences of his statements, he deflected and actually blamed onto the media. Now, this behavior not only I think only reflects a lack of accountability, but also showcases a trend among certain politicians who actually prioritize their image over the truth. And it's absolutely disheartening to witness an elected official lean into racist stereotypes, especially when those stereotypes have real-world consequences, like the bomb threats in Ohio, which were sparked by these very lies. Let's have a look.
Just once and for all, you again started this in part by saying that, at which Donald Trump repeated on the debate stage, that, and he didn't say anything about the policies that you're talking about. He just said Haitians are eating dogs and cats. Can you affirmatively say now that that is a rumor that has no basis with evidence?
Dana, the evidence is the first-hand account of my constituents who are telling me that this happened. And by the way, I've been trying to talk about the problems in Springfield for months, and the American media ignored it. There was a congressional hearing just last week of angel moms who lost children because Kamala Harris let criminal migrants into this country who then murdered their children. The American media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to, create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana, because you guys are completely letting Kamala Harris coast. You had one interview with her. You talk about pushing back against me, Dana. You didn't push back against the fact that she cast the deciding vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which is why a lot of Americans can't afford food and housing.
You just said that you're creating a story.
Public policy.
Sir, you just said that you're creating the story.
What's that, Dana?
You just said that this is a story that you created. So then The eating dogs and cats thing is not accurate.
Dana, it comes from firsthand accounts from my constituents. I say that we're creating a story, meaning we're creating the American media focusing on it. I didn't create 20,000 illegal migrants coming into Springfield thanks to Kamala Harris's policies. Her policies did that, but yes, we created the actual focus that allowed the American media to talk about this story.
Now, his comments about the Haitian community not only paint an entire group with a broad brush, but also contribute to a toxic environment where fear and misinformation actually thrive. It's a reminder of the power of words and the responsibility that comes with a platform, especially for someone in Vance's position. Now, what struck me most during this exchange was Vance's insistence that he was protecting his voters while simultaneously creating fear and division. Now, the idea that misinformation can be used as a tool for political gain is deeply troubling. It raises serious ethical questions like, is it even acceptable to create a narrative that endangers a community for the sake of political posturing? I mean, by spreading lies about Haitian immigrants, Vance not only undermines the dignity of those individuals, but also contributes to a larger narrative that justifies discrimination and violence. Now, we must recognize that words have consequences, especially when they perpetuate harmful stereotypes. I think that it's honestly time to reject the divisive rhetoric and actually work towards a community that values truth and compassion over fear and division. Now, that's just my opinion. What is yours? Let's engage in the comment section, shall we? We really want to hear from you. And while you at it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is